嘿，大家好，我叫石老师。今天我们要学12个很有用的字。我们第一个字八八。This character means the number 8. And this is its hand sign. So it looks a lot like the actual character. Ba. And it sounds kind of like a sheep. Ba. Now our next character, 我们下个字六六六。This character means 6, and this is its hand sign. So it is a hat on top of an 8. 六，下个字when. So a lot like when are we going? When. This character is a 6 with its legs crossed, and it means language or culture. It is often combined with other characters to make the language for a given country. So again, when, 下个这。This character means this. It's kind of like a pointer or a reference to something near you. 这. It'll never be used by itself, or at least seldom, and we'll talk about its use in our words. So one last time. 这. Now, our next 4 characters are all based on knife. 刀 knife. Looks kind of like a cleaver. 下个 fun. Like, let's have some fun. Fun. So this character means to separate or to break or split up. So we have an 8, which looks almost like a person, but then the knife cut or split the person in half. Fun. To split or to separate. Na. Like, nah, that ain't me. Na. This character means that. So it is a pointer or a reference to something further away from you. Na. And lastly, if we add a ko to na, we have na. And this means which. So it is a question about what someone is pointing or referring to. Which. Na. Now the tone there is really important, so focus on that. Our next 4 characters will help us make fundamental words. First, 中 pronounced exactly like middle, and you can see the middle in the character. This means clock, and when mixed with certain characters, it will take on the meaning of minute. The piece to the left is actually gold. So we have 中 for sound, and then we have this gold constructed tower, which is our clock. One last time. 中 ing, kind of like e, the number 1, with an ung at the end. Ing. This character means hero or heroic, but is often used to associate with England and the English language. Right? Ing. Next. 说 to speak. So to actually say something. Now, note, 说 is fine by itself. It is a word. However, it is often used for many different purposes. You can say something with 说. You can talk about something with 说. And you can mention something with 说. So context will make that clear, what our actual meaning is. And lastly, Hua. Hua. That piece on the left is a speech radical. It means words. And the piece on the right is actually your tongue. This character, hua, means words. So the speech from one's tongue. Words. Hua. That is all for our characters. 今天第一个词，中文 middle language. We can finally say Chinese. Just as 中国 is China, 中文 is Chinese. Next. 英文. So English language. English as the language. 英文. 英国. English country, England. 英国刀子 knife thing is knife. 刀子分钟 So this one's cool. Separating a clock gives you the word for minute. So 分钟 means a minute. 三分钟 3 minutes. 说话 to speak words. This sounds a little bit funky, but this is how we'll say to talk. And this will get into something later about how we like verbs to always have objects. But really, if you're ever saying I talked, or he spoke, we spoke, and you're not going to say what you talked about, you should say 说话. Do not just say 他说 or 我说. That sounds weird. Like I spoke, 我说, that sounds really strange. 我说话, I speak or I spoke. So again, 说话. The next one, 很溜. So this is actually a kind of weird colloquial thing that's happened recently. The number 溜 on internet slang has become a word for cool or awesome. 溜. 很溜. Now, the last several words we're going to talk about are going to help us explore how to use 这 for this, 那 for that, and 哪 for which. So we have two things we're doing here. We're either adding a 个 or an r, and that will change the meaning of 这, na, and 哪. When a 个 is added, it is a pointer for this, that, or which. So like 这个人, this person. When an r is added, it changes the meaning to where, or to there, or to here. So let's go through these. First, 这个 this. When a 这 and a 个 are together, it means this, and it will be followed by a noun. 这 and note that the r becomes It turns into one syllable. 这 r is one syllable. 这. This means here. So this place, here. 那个 that. Kind of like that thing. 那儿 there. That place. And last, 哪个 which or which thing. Again, followed by a noun. 哪个人 which person. Or 哪儿 which place. Or in English, where. The word for where. The question of where is it? 哪儿. That is all for our words. For today's grammar and sentences, we are going to look at 4 question and answer dialogues discussing duration in Mandarin, and then how do we use 这, na, and na. So, duration in Mandarin is very straightforward. First, I would like to draw attention to the point that all of our time phrases thus far have been setting time, which is the concept of like when something happens. So things like 明天, tomorrow, 上个月, last month, 下个月, next month, 3点, 3 o'clock, 早上, in the morning. We don't need to make an exhaustive list, but the point is we've learned a lot of setting phrases. We've learned a lot of like, when does something happen? Time. And duration is different. Duration is the amount of time that a verb occurs for. It is how long you do something for. And in Mandarin, these each have their own spot. So setting time will go at the beginning of our sentence, before or after the subject. Either is fine. And duration will go right after the verb. If there's a la, it will go verb la duration. But the important part is that duration does not go after the object. So if I say to write characters, I do not say write characters 5 minutes. I say write 5 minutes characters. Take this as a rule. There isn't a why, it just is how Mandarin works. So let's get into an example. Our first sentence. 你天天说几分钟中文? You, every day, speak how many minutes Chinese? Or every day, how many minutes do you speak Chinese for? So 几分钟, question of how many and then minutes, right? Now note here, this question phrase 几分钟 is where? Right after the verb. Now let's look at our response. 我天天说60分钟中文. So I, every day, speak for 60 minutes Chinese, or I speak Chinese for 60 minutes every day. Now note this 说60分钟 is very much like speak for 60 minutes in English. This speak for concept, to write for, to do for an amount of time. However, in Mandarin, we do not have a for. This preposition just doesn't exist. So, one last time. 我天天说60分钟中文. Our next example. 你上个月学习了几分钟写字? Last month, you practiced or studied writing characters for how long? The answer. 我上个月学习了800分钟写字. Last month, I studied or practiced 800 minutes of writing Mandarin, or sorry, writing characters. So note here, the time duration goes after the la, which is right after the verb. So we go verb, la, duration. I hope this doesn't feel like we're hitting it dry, but the purpose here is to draw out the fact that duration must go after the verb. If you do not follow this rule, it will cause a lot of confusion for Chinese speakers. It's not that they're trying to be obstinate or trying to be difficult, it just will not make sense. So one last time. 我上个月学习了800分钟写字. Cool. Now, our last two examples are going to deal with how these pointers work, these references. Things like this, that, and which. And to make it simple, we'll just look at some examples and pay close attention to what comes right after 这, na, and na. Our first sentence. 哪个人会说中文? Which person is able to speak Chinese? 哪个人, which person, 会说中文 is able to speak Chinese or Mandarin? Answer. 这个人, oh, actually, 这个人会说中文. This guy can speak Chinese. So again, arrogance, bad take in Chinese. Chinese people are very modest. Play to that. But this makes the point. 这个 is this. 这个人, this guy. Think of 这 kind of like a number. Whenever we use numbers, we must have a 个 if a noun is coming after the number. And 这, na, and na all follow that same rule. They point at something. So I say 这个人, 那个人, this person or that person. 哪个人, which person. So one more time. 这个人会说中文. Our last example for today. 哪儿的人会说英文? So where the people, or sounds a little weird, but where's people, the people of where, are able to speak English? This is not the most elegant way to ask this question. We're missing the word for the word country. But this works and creates the same meaning roughly. So again, where or where's people, the people of where, can speak English? 哪儿的人会说英文? Our answer. 英国和美国人都会说英文. So English or England and American people are all able to speak English. That 和 and the 都, you haven't seen those before. We'll learn those in a very soon class. But the 和 basically means and, it connects two nouns, and 都means all of or both. So in this case, 哪儿 is expressing where. It's very simply where. The R thing that comes after the n or na, this serves to say like the location of that. So which location? If I were to say 这儿的人, that is the people of here, or here's people. 这儿, here. 哪儿, where. I hope this makes sense, and I hope this helps understand how these pointers work. This, that, and which. They function the exact same as in English. The only weird thing is we have to use 个 or 儿 to change their meanings from that thing to that place. Spend some time and practice that. Also, remember duration right after the verb. 大家, that is all I have for you today. Please go through one more time, practice the sentences, and bring any questions you have to class. As always, 加油!